It is. This is a day and time where most people are trying to find their way. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just gonna put that. I'm just gonna leave that right there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that right there too.
Yeah, that part. That like what part? What are you saying? Why don't you elaborate on what you're talking about instead of trying to be so deep all the time, right? People are always trying to be deep. I'm not even deep like that, so I'm not even gonna try and engage and not like knowing what people were talking about when they put a quote up because I don't know. Need some elementary quotes. I'm trying to put nothing up by Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Jane Elliott. Half the time I don't even know what they're talking about. Well, that's the problem. You need to educate yourself and figure out what they're talking about. Well, I got by this far in life.
And it's some little Latin or Asian or white woman telling you like, hello, I am a black man. Hello, what can you tell me?
Right.
What are you gonna tell me?
Then I understand because Jane Elliott, she studied it. You know, she had a classroom, and she made a difference that way. But don't get up on social media and you read a couple of books and listen to a Malcolm X sermon, and now all of a sudden you deep and know everything.
People read quotes. That's what they do. Quotes from books or people.
But like if it was like the number one thing you wanted people to know, like what would it be?
Me?
For
Like
you,
in
yeah.
the world?
Yeah.
Like it was my last thing to ever say.
Yeah,
before I
outside
died?
of religion, outside of just like what, I mean, of course, everybody, oh, just to love. You overthinking it.
Oh, you want me to answer you?
Yeah, I wanted you to answer it.
Oh.
Like, what are you thinking about?
I
Like,
thought
yeah.
you were just saying, like, for example.
You have to think that? You have to think that much?
Oh, you're talking about, like, on my topic?
Just whatever, yeah.
Education, whatever.
Yeah.
Raise your kids.
Huh?
Raise your kids.
Yeah, but how do they know how to do that?
Yeah, I
In your final speech, what would you say? How would you say raise your kids?
know. No. I don't know. Well, I mean, it depends. There's, like, directed toward teachers would be different than directed toward other people as directed toward, like, specifically toward parents. So it'd be different depending on who the audience is. But since my audience is mainly teachers, it would probably be same thing I said in that speech, you know.
No.
You have to be rebellious in what you're teaching and teach what you should have learned when you were in school, whatever age grade you're teaching, you know, and always remember how everything that a teacher did or said to you or didn't say, the way they acted to you, how it impacted you, made you feel. Think about that with everything that you're saying and doing and how you're interacting with your students and their families. You know?
How can you be rebellious and then still successful as a child, though?
I'm talking about as teachers.
Yeah, okay. As a teacher, they've been taught all their lives to follow the standards and do this and do that, and this is what.
Well, the only way you're going to disrupt the system is by changing. The only way you're going to do it is by being rebellious and going against it. If you keep doing what you're told to do and following that same curriculum and the way they're told to teach, where you're going to continue what's been done this whole time. And how is the design of education based on? What? It's a factory. Students are not students, it's a factory, right? So it's a place to keep the students in their place, in your lane, right? If you come from a poor place or impoverished place, well, that's exactly where the type of education you're going to get. That's why I say ghetto education. They want you to stay there, right? So You want to keep following the rules and don't call yourself a teacher. You're going to be, if that's what you're doing.
So it sounds like what you're saying is, in order to be a successful teacher, you need to rebel against what they
That
taught you.
system, yes.
Oh,
And the way
wow.
they teach you, yes, all that, you do.
But surely, as you got your doctorate, you couldn't do that. You had to do what they
No,
asked you to do, right? In order to get the degree.
no, there's certain things, like you teach, I always say I teach this, when I say I teach the standards, you teach the standards of every grade, but you teach it in the way you want to teach it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there were, like for a dissertation, yeah, there's a format, you have to, certain requirements, qualifications, yeah, you have to follow that, but you can do it in the way that you want to.
Right.
And actually, I didn't follow the specific 5-chapter guideline for my dissertation, if you remember, but I know you don't, because you didn't read it. I did my own narrative, remember? You don't know, but I didn't do a 5-chapter dissertation like you're supposed to.
And you
I
still
did a
got.
personal narrative first. I did 3 different papers, pretty much. The second was my research study, remember, with the students, that behavioral class?
Mm-hmm.
So that was that, and then it was the policy recommendations at the end for schools and districts. That's what it was. So
And by the way, I did read it. It was Catcher in the Rye. It was a narrative of that. So yeah, and just letting you know.
oh, that was the first page.